Welcome to the Top 5 Sports Podcast, and I'm your host, Chike Obaka. This is your number one destination for all things sports. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more sports-related content, and don't forget to hit the notification button to be notified of new episodes. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about several finals matchups that are on the way in the world of sports, including the NBA Finals, the FA Cup Finals, and the UEFA Champions League Finals. I got to tell you, I am so excited for what's happening in the world of sports because this is the climax stage of the season. This is where you have stories that are written, legends are born, and all the efforts that has happened throughout the season comes down to the boiling point where two of the best teams meet up, and that's around the month of May and June. And I'm excited. I can't wait to get right into it. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about, and the first thing I want to just get out of the way, the Celtics dynasty is over. What do I mean by that? The Celtics dynasty is over. Whatever Jason Tatum, whatever Marcus Smart, whatever Jaylen Brown had together, that cute little 7-year 3-0 big three, whatever they had together, it's over. Whatever, Brad Stevens, the Celtics front office, whatever they tried to build for 7 years, it's over. Ladies and gentlemen, it is over. Whatever Ime Udoka tried to build, whatever Joe Mazzulla tried to build, it's over. How do you play in a conference final against the Miami Heat? You're down 3-0. You might as well lose the fourth game. But you put all that effort together and win 3 games. And you're thinking, there actually might be a possibility for this team to go beyond. And then you go to a game 7 at the Garden and you blow it up. You blow it up. Who does that? Who does that? The Celtics live and die by the 3, and then you go ahead and shoot 21% from the 3. That's why I'm telling you it's over. I don't care what anyone says that, they got another run, they can make it to the finals. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, it is over. This team has been to 5 conference finals in 7 years. That's good. Don't get me wrong. That's good. 5 conference finals in 7 years. They've been to an NBA finals. But with such a team and so many talents on the team, all you have is an NBA title appearance. Not even a Larry O'Brien trophy. With all this great talent on the team, great front office. Brad Stevens, everyone in the front office on the Celtics, they have structure. But all you have is an NBA Finals appearance. Come on, dog. I'll be honest. I just wanted to push that out there because that's not my focus for today. That's not the main conversation or the main topic I want to talk about. But I just wanted to get that off my chest. Because yesterday, as of on Monday, May the 29th, I believe, the Celtics lost the Game 7 game against the Miami Heat. And they started off 0-3. Jimmy Butler and all them dudes, they were playing lights out. Don't get me wrong, they were playing lights out. They came in 3-0, bam. And then the Celtics somehow rally up, win Game 4, win Game 5, win a historic Game 6, and then you go to a Game 7, and then you just blow it out like that, not even fight. Jaylen Brown, 8 turnovers. I cannot accept that. As great as an organization and so much history within the Celtics organization, I'm sorry. This big three pillar, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum, it's over. Just wrap it up. Start over again. Now, I know Jaylen Brown is going to be a free agent next year. He's in his last year of his contract. There's going to be questions. Should he get paid or not? Should he stay in the Celtics. And if you ask my opinion on that, I think he should, because those two are actually very good players. But my personal letter to Jaylen Brown is this. If you want to separate yourself or build a legacy in the NBA, you have to go write your own story. Don't be part of someone's story. Leave the Celtics, write your story, Jaylen Brown. Because we've seen that with James Harden. We've seen that with several players around the league who just, they know they play the role of Robin, but it's time to become a Batman. And Jaylen Brown, you have to write your own story. Would the Celtics want you back? Absolutely. But if you ask me, Jaylen Brown, my advice to you is go write your story. Somewhere else. I don't know where, but go write your story. I just want to get that out of my chest. Crazy loss, man. I was so frustrated because I had the Celtics actually trying to win, but apparently they didn't. But yeah, the NBA Finals has been set up. Congratulations to the Miami Heat. They defeated the Celtics in a crazy series in the conference finals. They won the game 4-3. They won the series 4-3. They started off 3-0, and then the Celtics rallied back, tied it at 3-3, and then Jimmy Butler and those dudes just kind of wrapped it up, and it sucks. But the NBA Finals has been set up, and that's what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the matchup between the Nuggets and the Miami Heat. Both teams are, well, one team on the other hand is, some might say they deserved it. They're clearly the favorites to be in that position. And the other team, on the other hand, are the Miami Heat that started as the 8th seed coming into the play-ins, not even the playoffs, but coming into the play-ins, they were the 8th seed. So there's a lot of doubts about them going into the finals. But the Miami Heat were the 8th seed. They lost to the Hawks. And after they lost to the Hawks, it looked like it was all over because they played bad, really bad. They then went on to play the Chicago Bulls, in which they won that game. And then they go into the playoffs, and you're thinking, okay, they're playing the number 1 seed in the Milwaukee Bucks with Giannis and them dudes. And then, surprisingly, the Miami Heat just took care of business. I know Giannis was injured in the first game, missed a couple games, but you got to give credit where credit is due. I think that the Miami Heat were fantastic. Surprisingly, the 8th seed playing the number 1 seed, especially with the kind of season that the Bucks had with Budenholzer and all the other guys. But Miami took care of business, and then they played the Knicks. That was a series which was surprisingly interesting because I thought that the Miami Heat should have it easy and breeze through it, but the Knicks put up a fight. Let's be honest. The Knicks put up a fight. They came in strong. They gave Jimmy Butler and them dudes a little bit of a rattle. But, again, Miami went over that hump. And then the Celtics. That's the series where I'm like, what the heck happened? I'm mind blown by what happened. I don't understand. Like, if you're going to win Celtics, you might as well just wrap it up. Or if you're going to lose, you might as well just lose. But putting up all that fight and then losing to Game 7, that's just disappointing. But that's the road that the Miami Heat took. Clearly, those guys are dogs on the team. Caleb Martin and everyone on the team. That Eric Spoelstra, what he's doing with that team is absolutely fantastic. And then moving on to the Denver Nuggets, they are the numbers. They were the number 1 seed, so deservedly so. The expectation coming into the playoffs for them was that they should be able to play at a high level. They took care of business against the Timberwolves, and they defeated the Suns with KD and Chris Paul and Devin Booker. They took care of business straight up, and then they played the Lakers, which was a easy gentleman's sweep. It wasn't even close. Credit to the Lakers, though, because they did play well against the Golden State Warriors. But the Denver Nuggets have been fantastic. Nikola Jokic has clearly shown why he is one of the best players in the league, if not the best player in the league. And this is the first NBA Finals in such a long time, I think 50 years, but I'm not sure. But I want to talk about a little bit of history between the teams. In this season, the Denver Nuggets are 2-0 against the Miami Heat, so you know that the Nuggets have the upper hand. However, it's been close. I don't think the difference has been more than 6 points or 8 points. So they've had close games. They've had close games. It's not as if it was both blowouts. They were close games. That tells you a story that Miami are always in the fight. But again, the wins matters. It doesn't matter how much you lose by. What matters is, did you win or did you not win? And that's what I'm looking at here. Denver 2-0 against them. But there's an incident I want to talk about. So back in 2021, when the Heat played the Nuggets, there was an instance where Nikola Jokic was, coming up the court trying to shoot a buzzer beater. Morif just shoves him up and, big man, people thinking he's just going to step back. But Nikola reacted and he was like, he just came at him straight, pushed him to the ground. It was kind of like a blind shot. But you can tell there's a little bit of animosity between the Nuggets and the Miami Heat, because even in that scuffle, you could see Jimmy Butler kind of, having word that someone over at the Nuggets team, I don't know who it was. It might have been Jokic or it might have been a staff, but I don't know. But I know Jimmy Butler keeps records of that whenever he plays teams or whenever he's going into a matchup with someone, because he's that kind of guy. He needs something to fire him up. He needs fuel to fire him up against his opponent. So I know there's a little bit of animosity between the Nuggets and the Miami Heat, and that's why I'm really, really, really excited for this matchup. I can't wait. It was kind of if you ask everybody, or if you told people at the start of the season that the Miami Heat will play the Denver Nuggets in the final, you would be like, nah, that's not happening. No chance. That's not happening. But that's the NBA. That's the beauty of the NBA. That's what we love, kind of like the underdog story, kind of like the David and Goliath story. So I'm excited. I'm really, really excited. I want to talk about a couple key points from that matchup that's going to happen. I believe the game starts June 1st to June 2nd. I'm not sure. But a few key points, and I want to start with the Denver Nuggets. Nikola Jokic. That is the most important, obviously the most important player on the Nuggets. But he's averaging 30 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists. A triple-double. Insane. Throughout the playoffs, averaging a triple-double. I've never seen a big man this talented. Comparing him to Shaq, I think Shaq was more dominant in the paint, but Nikola is more of a all-round player. He can beat you in many ways. Because you try to double team him, he finds the space and gives a pass. You try to go one-on-one with him, he's definitely going to beat you on that. So I can't remember a big man who has been this skillful, because he has all the tangibles you need for a player, not just a big man. Because as a big man, he moves like a point guard. I'm not talking about speed, but he has the IQ of a point guard. As a big man, he has a shooting range of a small forward or power forward. And you're looking at all these factors and you're thinking, how can you stop Nikola Jokic with everything he has? I legit think that he's the most efficient player I have seen in a very long time. I didn't buy into him when he came on the scene, but as you keep watching this guy transition and change his game over time, you have no option to fall in love with him. You have no choice. You actually have to fall in love with him because he's actually that good. And there was a play. Oh my God, there was a play when he played the when he played the Lakers, and I think that was game 1. Clock running down. He had been playing with AD, and man, he was giving AD hell. I'm talking about he was giving AD work, and AD had 40 points or 20 rebounds, but that is the most silent 40 point, 20 rebounds or 10 rebounds. I'm not sure how many rebounds, but I do know he had 40 points. That is the most silent 40-point game I've ever seen in a while, because Jokic was that good. He was that good. And there was a play he was coming up the court, and you could tell AD was like, nah, this guy is not going to hit it from, 30-something feet. And he just stepped back, and AD kind of gave him that look like, bro, really? And you know Jokic, he kind of has this humble appearance. His body language is a little bit funny. People kind of think he doesn't look like he's tall, like he's like 7 feet, right? But he doesn't look like the actual hooper. But when he does something that's crazy, everyone's like, damn. And when he hit that shot, AD just kind of gave him a side eye like, boy, really? And Jokic was like, I'm him. So, but I think the dude's special. He's insane. I can put him top 2 in the league right now, arguably. And something I also want to talk about is the MVP race that he had with Joel Embiid. Now, many people felt like he deserved it. I was one of them that felt like he deserved it as well because he was clear. But Joel Embiid also did deserve it. But I also think that this was good for Jokic not to win the MVP because this is fuel for him. And let me tell you why. Because Jokic is a kind of player that he's quiet, but deep down he sees everything everybody's talking about. He clearly knows he should have won the MVP. But now we're seeing it in the playoff where it's like he's trying to prove that's not what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for the main thing, and that's the finals MVP. I'm looking for an NBA title. That's what he's looking for. So it's fuel for him. It's something he wants to drive, that's driving him. It's something that he wants to achieve. And that's what is driving him to the next level because Embiid winning it, which some would say rightfully deserved it. Some, they might not agree. But Jokic is looking at that saying, okay, you won the MVP. I'll give it to you. But see what I'm about to do this season. I'm about to win it all. And I think as an NBA player, that should be your standard. You're trying to win the best, the highest, and that's the NBA title. And that's what Jokic is going for. I want to point to a couple players on the Nuggets team. I want to give them their flowers. Jamal Murray, absolutely fantastic player, all-star caliber player. I don't know why he's not been selected all these years he's been playing. Obviously, he had an injury that's kind of derailed his career. But Jamal Murray is a bad boy. I'm going to put it out there. Jamal Murray is a bad boy. I can't think of a better supporting cast for Nikola Jokic than Jamal Murray. Bad boy. He's a hooper. I'm talking about, you look at guys in the league that are basketball players, and then you look at guys who are hoopers. And Jamal Murray is a hooper. He kind of reminds me of a Kyrie-esque type of player. He's averaging 30-something points in this playoff. He hits a lot of clutch shots. He's a great supporting cast for Nikola Jokic. And having that kind of dude on your squad, you can't go wrong with it. Other players like Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., the Nuggets are stacked. You have to admit it. The Nuggets are stacked all over the court. And they have one of the most, or the most depth team in the league. And what do I mean by that? I mean, like, they have players all around. They have a good bench. Collectively, as a team, they're really, really good. And it's going to be hard, man. Miami, this series is not the Celtics series. This is going to be a tough series. This is going to be a tough matchup. And it's going to be one to watch. One of the most interesting finals we have come across in recent years. I want to also talk about the Miami Heat and what Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler are doing. Obviously, I have spoken about Jimmy Butler in my previous podcast episodes, but I want to bring that up again about how great Jimmy Butler is. We have to remember Jimmy Butler, where he came from and where he is right now, the stories behind, he's not a team player. He's too hard on players. Let me tell you something. Action speaks louder than words. If you've heard things about Jimmy Butler and you see what he does on the court, those two things don't match. Jimmy Butler's he's too aggressive with players. He demands too much. Yeah, of course he's going to demand too much. This is a dude that's been to 2 NBA finals, single-handedly taking a team to 2 NBA finals. I'm sorry. He's that dude. So if a dude like that demands high-quality basketball, you best believe he wants high-quality basketball. because he's going to play his part. And that's what good leadership is. You just don't tell people to do, you actually do it yourself. You lead by example. And that's what we've seen with Jimmy Butler. He's the kind of dude that he would not tell you to do something if he's not capable of doing it. And we've seen it down the years. 2 NBA finals. That is not easy. To go to 2 NBA finals in the last 4 or 3 years, 2 NBA finals. That's no joke. Credit to Jimmy Butler. I also want to give credit to Eric Spoelstra. What he's done with this team is absolutely fantastic. It's not, you don't, many coaches around the league are the NBA is one of those leagues where great coaches get fired easily. And Eric Spoelstra has been in the game. I believe he's the longest serving NBA coach right now in the league, but you got to give him credit for what he's done. He's not had much players, but with what he's had, he's done so much. And you could tell with Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra going into the season what the plan was. It feels like they have been the underdog throughout the season. They have underdog players. They have that underdog mentality. There's a few undrafted players on the team that are just playing lights out. I'm talking lights out. Caleb Martin, Duncan Robinson, Gabe Vincent, all undrafted players. When they get to the playoffs, they are playing lights off. And I think that's the mentality Pat Riley wanted to bring on his team. And it works with Jimmy Butler. Because the kind of guy Jimmy Butler is that when you doubt him, he rises to the top. And you bring guys who have been doubted all their lives, undrafted players. Oh, you're not deserving or you're not worthy to play in the NBA. You bring those guys into a team and you create something special. And that's what Pat Riley has done with the Miami Heat. Brought in guys who have been doubted all their lives, put them in a team, put a chip on their shoulder, and try to let them know anything's possible. I got to say it, man. Miami have been sensational this season. And this finals matchup is going to be one to watch. This is definitely a David and Goliath matchup. Number 1 seed against the 8th seed. And if you ask me who's going to take it, I'll be straight up with you. This is not even me trying to be heroic with the Miami Heat or anything, but the Denver Nuggets are winning this. Straight up. The Denver Nuggets are winning this matchup. It's not even, this is not Miami, this is not the Celtics series. The Celtics are a young team, they're growing, but the Denver Nuggets are winning it. And I think it should wrap up in at least Game 5 or Game 6. Nikola Jokic is going to be the Finals MVP. But if the Miami Heat win this NBA Finals, we would witness one of the best runs in the playoffs ever. If they somehow figure it out and win this NBA title, this would be the best NBA playoff run in the history of the NBA. I said it before. They've been the underdogs throughout. They've had so many undrafted players. They came in as the 8th seed. They lost to the Atlanta Hawks in the play-ins. They had to get past Chicago in the play-ins. They played the number 1 seed. They played the number 2 seed. You got to give it to them. So I can't wait. I'm excited for this and looking forward to an insane matchup. It's going to be interesting. Head-to-head, Nikola, Jimmy Butler. It's going to be interesting. All right, so I want to move over to a different sport, and that is the UEFA Champions League final. Manchester City against Inter Milan, a.k.a. Internazionale. This is the first time they're meeting. Manchester City defeated Real Madrid, who were the former champions or the former holders of the trophy, Inter Milan, the last time I believe they were in the finals was in 2009 or 10. That's when they had Jose Mourinho on the team. They defeated Bayern Munich in the finals. Again, this feels like a David and Goliath matchup because everyone's expecting Man City to win, and no one saw Inter Milan make it into the finals. I think that there's going to be a lot of history made from both sides if Inter win or if Manchester City wins. I want to talk about Inter Milan. Their manager, Simone Inzaghi, he's been fantastic. He's been Inter Milan's manager since 2021, I believe. He came from Lazio, where he made his household name. He's also part of the legendary 1999 team that won the Serie A, the Lazio team, if you remember, where they had Dejan Stankovic, they had Alessandro Nesta, they had Mancini, they had Nedved, Diogo Simeone. They had a lot of players. They had a lot of players that were historic at that time. And after they won the Serie A title back in 99, a lot of players left, and that's where you see Nesta going to AC Milan. You see Pavel Nedved going to Juventus, and a lot of players just kind of separated. But that was a special team back then. He's been exceptional for Inter Milan. He just recently won the Coppa Italia against, I believe, Fiorentina. They won the match 2-1. He's done a hell of a job at Inter Milan. No one expected them to be in the finals. They defeated their arch rivals AC Milan, which I thought was surprising. I thought AC Milan would put up a fight, but apparently not. It was easy win for them, home and away. Credit to Inter Milan. They played absolutely fantastic. But I expected better from AC Milan. Inter deserve it, though. No question about that. Inter Milan deserve being in the finals. Key players I want to talk about, though, on the Inter Milan team, I want to talk about Lautaro Martinez. If there was a player I would think would make a difference in the final, it would be Lautaro Martinez. He's an exceptional player. He's a World Cup winner with Argentina. He's played very, very well for Inter Milan. He's basically seen as their pivotal figure on that team. Basically, some will call him the best player on that team. He's won the Serie A title back in 2021 with Inter Milan. And I want to talk about his style of play. He's what you call, if you guys remember Carlos Tevez, the legendary Carlos Tevez that played for Man United and Manchester City, legend for Argentina. He reminds me of Carlos Tevez. He has that bulldog mentality. He's very good technically. He drops very well. He also offers a lot on the defensive side of the ball. He's not your typical out-and-out number 9 striker that's just all the way there. He's more of a box-to-box striker. He's more on the offense and on the defense, and he likes to build up with the team, and that's very key for Inter Milan going into the finals. A little bit of a knack is people complain about how well he takes penalties. It's not really the best in doing that, but that's the only weakness I see on that team. Another key player I want to talk about would be Lukaku. Is he fit? Sort of. How efficient would he be? I don't know, but his input would be needed. Lukaku is a type of striker who a lot of pundits have questioned his ability to control the ball and make right decisions. He's grown over the years. You can clearly see it in his game from Everton to West Brom to Man United, and even on the international scene, he's improved his game. But the question I just have is, when it comes to the big moments, Lukaku, are you able to produce? Are you able to score? Are you able to finish? Are you able to play a role? If they require you to just be a hold-up striker, are you willing to take that role? Are you willing to, just be a role player? He hasn't seen himself as a role player because he has been a number 9 for most teams. He's been on a starting team for most teams, but again, a game against City is going to be a tricky one. You want to be very smart when you play Manchester City. You want to go out just doing whatever. You actually have to play by the books when you play Manchester City. But yeah, Lautaro Martinez and Lukaku, two key players that I think that can make the difference against Manchester City. Now, moving on to Manchester City, who are the key players to watch? The whole squad. The whole squad. Because if you put in a game plan to hold Erling Haaland, who's going to stop Kevin De Bruyne? If you put in a game plan to hold KDB, who's going to stop Jack Grealish? If you put in a game plan to stop Jack Grealish, who's going to stop Gundogan? And the list goes on and on and on. Phil Foden, Mahrez, so many guys. Who's going to stop them? Because collectively as a team, Manchester City are so good. And when I say who's going to stop Erling Haaland, I'm not talking like somebody actually can stop Erling Haaland because he's been exceptional throughout the season. But I'm saying if you try to build a game around stopping Erling Haaland, you got to watch out for KDB. If you put your game around stopping KDB and Erling Haaland, good luck, first of all. Second of all, you got to look out for Jack Grealish. And if you do the same thing, the list goes on and on and on. Because Manchester City collectively as a team are so good. And the only thing I have to say to Inter Milan is good luck. Good luck. I have nothing else but well wishes and the best opportunities. I think it's going to be, if you ask me what would be the outcome, I think because of pressure and the underdog mentality coming into this, I think that will be the little edge that Inter Milan have coming in as the underdog. But on the other hand, I also think that this is an opportunity for players to rise up, excuse me, in the biggest moments of the game. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. Obviously, I'm going to roll with Manchester City. It sucks saying this, but we've all seen what they've done throughout the season. They've been fantastic. They've played well. Arguably the best team in Europe right now. And I don't see a chance for Inter Milan. I just think that Manchester City are too experienced. They have the right players. They have the right coach in Pep Guardiola. Pep's trying to win a treble, so that's going to be another motivation. Winning the Champions League has been a thorn in his flesh. That's what people have questioned him. He hasn't done it since he left Barcelona. Some people say he can't win it without Messi, but this game is going to be emotional for him if they win it, and I know Pep he's going to do everything in his power to try to win that matchup. Again, good luck to Inter Milan. I don't know how they're going to win this, but yeah, that's all I can say because you got to keep up. We got to watch out for the whole squad, basically, because Manchester City are the best team in Europe, and you can't deny that. So the last thing I also want to talk about, moving on, still staying within Manchester City and football, I want to talk about, okay, this one is dear to me. I want to talk about the FA Cup final coming up. Manchester City against Manchester United, the Manchester Derby, the biggest clash or the biggest rivalry some might call. The FA Cup is I call it the creme de la creme of English football and cup competitions. And here's why. It's the oldest cup competition in the world. And you have two of the biggest teams in the world, Manchester United and Manchester City, going head to head. On one hand, Manchester City are trying to win the treble. And on the other hand, Manchester United are trying to stop Manchester City from winning the treble. So you can see there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot to play for. There's a lot to be at stake. And there's that tension that's building up. Obviously, United are going to come in with the mentality that, hey, listen, these are our rivals. We're the only team to win the treble in 1999 under Sir Alex Ferguson. And we cannot let Pep Guardiola do that. So that's the motivation for Manchester United. And on the other hand, the motivation for Manchester City is we want to be part of that history to be one of the few teams in England, or the second team in England, to win a treble. Pep Guardiola definitely wants to win a Champions League for Manchester City. So all that noise about he's never won it right after Messi, he wants to get that out of the window. So there's a lot to play for. A lot to play for. The last time these two teams met in a cup final, I believe, was the Community Shield, where Manchester United defeated Manchester City 3-2, came from behind. Exceptional final. Lewis Nani was exceptional. United are hoping to repeat that, but this is a different squad. This is a different manager. Manchester City are a different team. They've separated themselves from every team in Europe. Again, coming in, Manchester United, bitter rivals, neighbor rivals. That's the only thing I can say might scare Manchester City a little bit, because United are actually a decent team. They're a good team. They're not just coming in as, rivals who actually don't have quality on the team. They have quality. Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro, Marcus Rashford. Quality players that are able to change the game. Varane. But going over to City, there's quality all over the field. I don't even know where to start from. But my point is, in the finals like this, everyone knows players have quality. But what separates the team is how you handle the pressure of the situation. Because it's none of the teams are playing in Etihad or at Old Trafford. Neutral ground, Wembley. The stakes are high. There's a lot of motivation behind playing that game. And it's going to be one of those historic finals. That's how I put it, one of those historic finals. And I want to talk about scenarios, right? If Manchester City wins, they'll be on the brink of completing the treble because they play Inter Milan the following week. They'll be the second team in Premier League history to do a treble. The only team to ever do it, Man United. And there's also going to be the debate about the best or greatest manager to manage a team in England, and that's between Pep Guardiola and Alex Ferguson. My personal opinion, I don't even think it should be a conversation. I think Sir Alex, what he has done is not comparable to what Pep has done in England. But if this happens, it's a worthy conversation. It's a worthy conversation to have. But still, I do not think he would be a greater manager than Sir Alex Ferguson because, come on. What Sir Alex has done in England is unmatched. He's literally one of the founding fathers to draw attention to English football. So it's not even close. If Man United win, boy. Number one, they stop City from winning the treble. There's more incentive to win because they are the only team to win a treble. Erik ten Hag would have pulled off what I would call a miracle season for Manchester United. The kind of season we had last year, coming into this year, winning the Carabao and the FA Cup and finishing third in the Premier League. That will be so sensational for Manchester United and the whole team if he actually wins this. That would be like, okay, this team is not a team to joke with. It would be the best start to whatever Erik ten Hag and everybody on that squad, whatever plans they have, it would be the best start possible because now you can attract players. You can start building around so many young players. And then the situation with the Qataris and, who they want to, the selling of the team, the Glazers. It would just be so much good things happening moving forward if we win. It would be a huge achievement. It would be a huge achievement. Like I said before in my previous podcast, the requirement for Erik ten Hag was to make the top four, and that is it. And then you win 2 trophies, and you come third in the league. Huge achievement. Huge achievement. So it's going to be a great finals. I can't wait. I'm excited. I'll definitely be watching it. If you ask me who's winning, I'm a Man United fan, so there's no way in this world I'm picking Manchester City. Manchester United, bring it home. That's who I think is going to win. It's going to be a tough matchup. I think it's going to be tight, probably 1-1 or 0-0, and then go to penalties and United winning on penalties or maybe extra time. This is one of those situations I am thinking with my heart and not my head, because if I'm using the eyeball test and you're using my head, I definitely would probably lean towards Manchester City. But I'm a proud United fan and I'm going in head on. I truly believe something is brewing with this Man United team, and it's special. It's special. So I'm going with Man United for the FA Cup finals. But yeah, just a quick discussion here. I just wanted to talk about so many finals matchup coming up ahead. I'm excited. NBA finals, FA Cup finals, Champions League finals, and I'm excited. I hope you're excited too as well. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more sports-related content. And don't forget to hit the notification button to be notified of new episodes coming up. This is the Top 5 Sports Podcast. Thanks for watching. Peace.